to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Hello and welcome. My name is Owen Thorne. Tonight, you are invited to wander through the gentle embrace of a medieval village, where a centuries-old oak stands sentinel under the moonlight. As you settle in, take a moment to let your body relax and your mind drift toward a place of warmth and serenity. Feel the surface beneath you, whether it's your bed, a cozy chair, or a soft couch. Allow the weight of your body to sink into that surface, releasing any tension in your muscles. Inhale slowly, drawing in a sense of calm. Hold this comforting air for a gentle pause. Then exhale, letting go of the day's worries. Let your breathing become a soothing tide, rising and falling in a slow, steady rhythm. Notice any lingering tightness in your shoulders or neck, and with each soft breath, feel that tension melt away. Imagine a warm glow flowing from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. This comforting sensation eases every muscle it touches, coaxing your body into a state of gentle relaxation. Now, as your eyelids feel heavier and your thoughts grow quieter, prepare to enter a world of soft torchlight, old stone walls, and the tender hush of a medieval evening. Let curiosity guide you into a tale of cozy hearths, friendly villagers, and the protective branches of an ancient oak. With each breath, you drift closer to a dreamy landscape of gentle discovery. And when you're ready, simply let your senses open to the story that is about to unfold. In a small medieval village, nestled at the edge of a tranquil meadow, an evening hush settled like a soft blanket over the winding streets. The day's light had shifted into the mellow glow of dusk, painting the thatched rooftops in hues of gold and dusk blue. Wisps of smoke curled from chimney tops, carrying the comforting aroma of fire-warmed stone and the faint hint of spiced stew drifting through the air. Those who found themselves in this peaceful place would see a labyrinth of cobblestone paths that twisted between humble cottages. Each cottage seemed lovingly built, stones carefully stacked, mortar gently smoothed, and roofs composed of sturdy straw. Ivy climbed the walls, and small lanterns hung at doorsteps, illuminating pathways in a gentle, flickering light. The warm hum of evening chores resonated quietly as villagers finished their tasks and prepared for the serenity of night. At the village's centre stood a modest well, ringed by smooth grey stones. A few wooden buckets lay neatly beside it, awaiting use in the early morning. Surrounding the well was a simple courtyard where villagers gathered on brighter days to share news or exchange produce. Though the court was mostly silent now, one could still sense the echo of cheerful voices and see footprints left by barefoot children playing in the late afternoon sun. Not far from the well, a friendly baker was closing up shop. The glow of an oven fire could still be glimpsed through the open door. Inside, The last loaves of bread cooled on wooden racks, their crusts crisp and brown, filling the air with an aroma that promised nourishment and comfort. A gentle cat, fur the colour of midnight, sat by the threshold, washing a paw with languid grace. From time to time, the cat glanced outside as though waiting for one final farewell from the day. The village, though modest, was made warm and rich by the presence of its people. Nearby, an elderly woodcarver carefully latched the shutters of his small workshop. Even in the faint torchlight, rows of carved wooden figurines and boxes could be seen through the open window. Works of skill and dedication, each telling its own quiet tale of creation. The woodcarver's hands, old but still strong, moved with calm assurance. He closed the shutters gently, leaving only a narrow beam of soft lantern glow trickling onto the street. Further along, a cosy tavern beckoned with a gentle hum. Though the evening was late, a comforting murmur of conversation drifted from within. The tavern, built of stout oak beams, had walls decorated with faded tapestries and old coats of arms. Simple wooden tables bore the marks of years of friendly gatherings, faint scratches, shallow grooves, and a shine from countless hands resting on their surfaces during hushed stories and hearty laughter. The crackle of a low fire could be heard in the hearth, and the subdued voices of a few loyal patrons drifted into the quiet street like a lullaby. Beyond the tavern, close to the village boundary, stood an ancient oak, a guardian of this realm, and all who found shelter here. Its trunk was broad, roots twisting like serene serpents beneath a forest floor, and its branches stretched proudly overhead. It had stood watch for countless seasons, offering its shade by day and its whispered reassurance by night. The bark, furrowed and deeply grooved, glistened faintly in moonlight, telling stories of the centuries it had endured. In the hush of evening, the oak's leaves rustled like a secret conversation with the breeze, a soothing lullaby for anyone who drew near. One such wanderer approached the venerable tree. This traveller, tired from a day spent meandering along forest trails, had found a welcome hush in the village. They carried simple belongings, a small satchel, a woolen cloak, and a heart open to gentle moments. With quiet steps, they advanced toward the oak, drawn by a feeling that it was a place of calm and deeper rest. Pausing at the broad trunk, the traveller looked upward. Silvery light filtered through the thick canopy, sprinkling faint patterns on the grass. In the stillness, the distant sound of water flowing in a nearby stream added another layer of comfort. The traveller let out a slow breath, placing a hand upon the oak's trunk. There was a reassuring warmth in the old bark, as though the tree itself held the memory of countless nights and countless stories told beneath its branches. A soft breeze stirred. It carried the gentle perfume of wildflowers that grew in the meadow just beyond the village. It also brought the distant sound of a nightingale's call, weaving a gentle lullaby into the hush. Feeling a wave of calm, the traveller slipped off their satchel and let their cloak settle on the grass. Sitting down at the base of the oak, they rested against the sturdy trunk, letting the tree's presence embrace them. In the near distance, a shepherd quietly guided a small flock back to the safety of a barn. The bleating of lambs drifted on the air, followed by the sound of soft footfalls across a worn footpath. Lantern light from the shepherd's crook glowed faintly, bobbing in the dark like a wandering firefly. The traveller watched this peaceful scene with half-lidded eyes, comforted by the simplicity of life unfolding. There was no hurry here, no rush of bustling roads, only the tender rhythms of day turning into night. Slowly, the moon ascended, bathing the thatched rooftops in silver. The village below seemed to breathe in time with the traveller's slow, steady breaths. Doors closed with gentle clicks, shutters latched softly, and eventually the hush deepened. All that remained was the faint rustle of leaves in the oak, the nearly silent hum of a soft breeze weaving through the meadow, and the occasional lull of distant night birds. When the traveller finally closed their eyes, they entered a serene half-dream. In this half-dream, scenes of the day floated by. The warm smile of the baker as they passed by the bakery's threshold, the woodcarver's careful hands shaping a delicate figurine, the melodic clinking of cups in the tavern, and the hushed conversation that drifted through thick wooden doors. Images blended seamlessly, forming a tapestry of gentle impressions that rocked the traveller deeper into a dreamy surrender. Time passed slowly, and the traveller awoke briefly to find themselves still cradled by the oak's sturdy trunk. The sky had deepened into a rich, velvety night. A sweeping arc of stars stretched above, glittering like tiny lamps in a vast cosmic hall. The traveller felt safe, as if the oak were a caring guardian. A fresh wave of nighttime air whispered through the branches, and the traveller's eyes fluttered closed again, letting the half-dreams continue. In the realm of those dreams, a soft tale unfolded of villagers gathering in the courtyard by day. Children laughed and chased one another around the well, their voices echoing against the stone. Village elders sat on wooden benches, speaking in gentle tones about harvests and changing seasons. Everyone who passed by greeted one another with a smile or nod, a quiet sense of kinship present in every encounter. The medieval bustle in the traveller's dream was calm and measured, free from any sense of urgency, as if the clocks of this place moved in slow circles rather than ticking seconds. Then the dream flowed to images of the shepherd again, this time in the midst of the green meadow behind the oak. The sheep grazed peacefully, their soft wool blending with the pale colour of the grass in sunlight. Occasionally, a lamb would skip forward, playing beneath the watchful eye of its mother. Overhead, a clear blue sky was dotted with small, airy clouds that moved lazily towards the horizon. The traveller, even in their dream, could sense the warmth of the sun, feel the gentle press of the breeze against their skin, and drink in the sweet fragrance of the flowers that swayed around them. Shadows lengthened in the dream realm, just as they did in reality. Slowly, the scene transitioned to a peaceful twilight once again. It was as if day and night were caught in a timeless loop, each passing lovingly into the other without haste. The traveller was dimly aware that they were still leaning against the mighty oak, lulled by a distant memory of birdsong and the hush of the village at rest. Through the night, the oak stood guard. Its leaves shimmered whenever a soft gust of air passed by, creating a lullaby of rustling branches. Moonbeams cascaded through the canopy, revealing glimmers of grass below. Here and there, a firefly lit up, dancing among the roots. One such firefly drifted closer to the traveller's face, winking gently before floating away into the moonlit darkness. The traveller's breathing slowed, matching the rhythmic sighs of the night wind. Meanwhile, inside the village cottages, families snuggled under patchwork quilts. The tavern's last few patrons bid one another good night, their voices soft as they stepped into the cool air. They carried with them the warmth of shared stories and simple camaraderie. Lanterns were dimmed, leaving only the glow of embers in hearths, faint red flickers reflecting off stone floors. As the midnight hour came and went, the village seemed to slip even deeper into slumber. The only signs of life were the soft hoot of an owl perched high on the barn's rafters, and the gentle shuffle of a stray cat wandering along a garden wall. A sense of protection and comfort blanketed every corner of this place, as though each stone and timber understood the value of rest and the gift of slow, steady breathing. In the early hours before dawn, the world felt suspended between dreaming and waking. Stars began to fade, making way for a faint glow along the horizon. The traveller stirred beneath the old oak, a sense of peaceful drowsiness still holding them close. Every exhale was a calm release of tension. Every inhale brought in the sweet, revitalizing air of new beginnings. Half in reverie, the traveller imagined the baker rising early to stoke the ovens, preparing a new batch of dough. They pictured the woodcarver gently unclasping his shutters at daybreak to let in a beam of morning light. Beyond the meadow, the shepherd would likely be preparing a simple meal, while the flock dozed in the barn, waiting for sunrise. Slowly, these images blended into the traveller's drowsy mind, and a sense of security flooded them, as if they were part of this village's daily rhythm. Even as the horizon brightened and the night birds gave way to morning chirps, the traveller remained cocooned in the gentle hush under the oak. Their dreams were soft, filled with comforting voices and the reassuring presence of kindly villagers. No trouble pierced this quiet bubble of peace. No challenges demanded immediate attention. The oak's ancient bark formed a firm yet tender support, its roots weaving a quiet lull of serenity into the earth. As dawn at last approached, delicate threads of pale light glowed at the edges of the sky. The old oak shimmered in this subtle illumination, each leaf catching the earliest rays of day. In the calm hush, dew gathered on grass tips, sparkling like tiny gems. Above, An early bird sang a tentative morning note, soon joined by another and then another, until a small choir welcomed the coming of light. The traveller opened their eyes slowly, the hush of the night still very much in their bones. A sense of clarity and renewal mixed with the lingering comfort of slumber. Within their chest, gratitude for the oak and the village glowed quietly. Everything felt gentle, timeless, suspended between the memory of dreams and the promise of a new day. Yet the traveller did not stir to full wakefulness. They stayed nestled against the tree, letting the soft dawn fill their senses, allowing the oak's calm presence to cradle them a bit longer. There was no urgency, no haste. The warm acceptance of this moment was enough, and the traveller drifted once more, letting the gentle swirl of half-dreams carry them deeper into rest. Anyone passing by, perhaps the baker on his way to gather water for the morning dough, might see a figure tucked under the great oak's branches and smile knowingly. To sleep beneath that ancient guardian was a gift as old as the land itself. Villagers often spoke of the oak's protective spirit, mentioning how it watched over those who came to it seeking solace or simply a moment of reflective stillness. And so the traveller lingered, cocooned in the merging of night's quiet grace and the first hint of day's warmth. The village around them would soon awaken, but for now the hush remained, a tender lullaby that invited every listener to sink further into rest, to trust in the gentle arms of the old oak and the comforting calm of this place in time. In that soft embrace, the traveller's breath grew slower. The oak's gentle rustling leaves whispered a lullaby in the calm morning air. The world was still, suspended between quiet dream and gentle waking. No sound pressed for attention, no demand called them away from rest. Here, every heartbeat felt steady, supported by the village's timeless peace. The sky, softly alight with dawn, brought only the promise of warmth and the tender hush of another new day. Nothing was rushed, nothing was lost. The traveller gave in to that solace, lulled by the ancient oak's patient watch. All around, small signs of life emerged. A window shutter eased open. A rooster offered a muffled crow from afar. But these sounds arrived like distant echoes, far enough away to blend harmoniously with drowsy dreams. The village world held them kindly, wrapping them in an unspoken assurance. All is well. You are safe. Drift if you wish. And so the traveller's eyes fluttered shut again. They let out one final, unhurried breath and settled into the soft haven formed by the roots and trunk. The hush enveloped them, deeper than before, a restful hush that asked for nothing and gave everything. By the ancient oak and under the newborn sky, the traveller sank into a profound, untroubled sleep. At the edge of dawn, dreams and reality intertwined, cradling the traveller in the tender refuge of this medieval village. The oak stood guard, its centuries of wisdom shaped into a gentle vigil. Good night, dear traveller. May dreams carry you gently, and may the morning greet you with renewed warmth and peace. Sleep well,